In the number 10 spot is Doja Cat. She's got tons of fans, but recent times haven't been the best for her after she came under fire for saying offensive things online. It wasn't long into the controversy before people started a very trending hashtag Doja Cat is over party. And in this generation, that is when you know you've been canceled. When they create a hashtag that you're over. Allegations surfaced that claimed she had taken part in racist video chats and wrote a song in 2015 called Didn't Do Nuffin', which is racist slur mocking victims of police brutality. Because of what is happening in our world right now, people were not happy. She did issue an apology for the song, but denied taking part in any kind of racism online, even though they did have video evidence to prove it. Things just are not looking good for her right now. Coming in next, number 9 is Jake Paul. One of the most popular YouTubers right now is on people's most hated list after being accused of looting the riots this past weekend. An Arizona mall was completely destroyed in a riot, and Jake Paul was caught on camera in the midst of it, with all of it happening around him. You don't actually see him steal anything, but he is right there while everyone around him is destroying the stores and stealing everything inside. Jake posted on his Instagram story that the cops tear gassed him and were pointing guns at him. You can see in some of the videos posted online that Jake had some of his YouTube film crew with him, camera in hand. The world was furious that he was taking part, but Jake responded with a very long statement. He said he did not engage in any of the violence or vandalism and does not condone it, but that he understands it. Sniping the 8th spot is Lori Loughlin. The actress has always been adored for her time on the hit TV series Full House, but she was recently sentenced 2 months behind bars, along with her husband, who was sentenced to 5 months. They were busted for being involved with a college admission scam, which helped their daughters cheat their SAT scores and get admission into college. They paid $500,000 in bribes. They argued that they thought their payments were donations that would go to the University of Southern California as a fundraising gift, but they ended up pleading guilty when all was said and done. As part of their plea deal, she will also be paying a $150,000 fine, and she has to perform 100 hours of community service. In spot number 7 is Kylie Jenner. There's no denying that she is loved by many people, even if you are not one of them. She does have a huge fan base who very much support her. But people are not impressed with her behavior right now after some drama came to surface. This past Friday, Forbes dropped an article titled Inside Kylie Jenner's Web of Lies and Why She's No Longer a Billionaire. They took back her billionaire title, accusing her of inflating her personal wealth and forging her tax returns. Kylie shut them down on Twitter, but never commented on these accusations. She simply said that she never asked for the title or tried to lie her way there. Articles have surfaced since then saying that Kylie is furious with her mom, who also is her manager and earns 10% of her earnings, and apparently she's refusing to take her calls. Why, you might ask? Because sources say that Kylie doesn't know who to trust right now. Maybe it was her mom who leaked some information. We're not sure. However, both of them are very worried as to what this could do to her brand. Moving on to number 6 is James Franco, one of the most popular actors in Hollywood at one point until he got exposed for being inappropriate with minors and accused of sexual assault. It started back in 2014 when screenshots surfaced showing that he was trying to rent a hotel room with a girl that he knew was 17 years old. The scandal did eventually fade out, but then in 2018, he showed up to the Golden Globes wearing a Time's Up pin, and women started coming forward accusing him of sexual assault and harassment. Since then, he has deleted all of his social media and he has remained off our screen for years. He did try to come back last year with his own movie called Zeroville, but it was a complete flop. Like one of the worst in history. Almost embarrassing. No, it was embarrassing. Halfway through our countdown, number 5 is Kim Kardashian. There's been an ongoing feud between Kim, Kanye, and Taylor Swift. It felt like it came to an end after footage leaks showing the entire phone conversation when Kanye apparently asked Taylor to use lyrics about her in his song Famous. The full conversation was finally exposed, and nowhere in the call does he ask Taylor's permission to call her a B-word. The call was leaked online and Taylor was thrilled that the truth was finally out. Kim went online to defend her side still, and fans quickly started turning against her. They said that she's a hypocrite for saying that she doesn't care about the drama, but then speaks on it anyway. Plus, she is still denying everything even though there is proof. Like, how long can one person lie for? Just apologize. Here now at number 4 is Charlie Sheen. He was on top of the world when starring on his hit TV series 2.5 Men, earning more than any other actor on TV at the time. There's probably a list of things that play a factor as to why his career came to an end. His struggle with drugs and alcohol, his erratic and inappropriate behavior, his feuds with other celebrities. But it's hard to forget his ABC interview when he was asked if he was still using drugs. He said, "I am on a drug. It's called Charlie Sheen. It is not available. If you try it once, you will die. Your face will melt off and your children will weep over your exploded body." He then went on to talk about sleeping with prostitutes. The entire interview is manic and whack, but no one could ever forget his famous line when he said that he had tiger blood running through his veins. Since that moment, that has been an ongoing joke. However, I gotta give props when it's due. It does seem like he has turned his addiction around, so you gotta give props where it's due, because that's nothing to mess around with or joke about. All right, guys, in the third spot is Miley Cyrus. Now, I've been a fan of her since the good old Hannah Montana days, so this one is a little hard for me to admit. A lot of people have turned away from her in recent years because of some of her choices and behavior. She has been in the center of controversy for years now, but the most recent one was when she got divorced from her longtime hubby, Liam Hemsworth. Because just a few days later, she was spotted kissing another woman. And then not long after that, she was filmed making out with Cody Simpson, who she is now dating. Now, her love life is her personal business, but people were very invested in her and Liam's relationship and couldn't understand how she moved on so quickly and then posted about it all over social media like she didn't even care about it. Don't agree with all her decisions, but I still like her. Taking over the number 2 spot is Ellen DeGeneres. For anyone who has been out of the loop lately, the world is turning against Ellen in 2020, claiming that she is not as nice as she appears to be. Celebrities have exposed her and shared bad experiences they had with her on the show. Fans have even come forward with stories of mistreatment, and even former employees have explained stories where she did not treat them kindly, like you probably thought that she did. There are honestly way too many examples to list, but if you missed all the drama, we have covered the whole thing on our channel, so I will add a link somewhere on the screen so you guys can get all caught up on that. There's a lot of tea, let me tell you. Earning the number 1 spot is R. Kelly. One of the most popular artists for many years, but the R&B singer has been facing sexual abuse allegations for more than 2 decades. And somehow he was getting away with it the entire time. Until now. In 2019, he was officially charged after they found video footage that they could use as valid evidence. The footage came from an old documentary of his life that showed he had been with a girl he knew was underage. He had been denying it the whole time that he knew her age, but in the video, he actually states her name and age, like from his own mouth. He was charged with 13 counts of aggravated criminal sexual abuse and 2 separate federal indictments for sex trafficking, all of which he has pleaded not guilty to. As of now, he is currently sitting behind bars, and his victims were able to share their stories in the Netflix documentary Surviving R. Kelly. If you have not watched it, go watch it. It's so worth it. It was so well done. Beginning our list at number 10 is Bill Cosby. For many years, he carried the title of America's Dad because he was a role model in show business and a big influence for other generations of comedians. He also played the father of the famous TV family on The Cosby Show. He was adored by many, to say the least, so much so that even after sexual assault claims came out towards him in 2005, he was still capable of continuing on with his career. It wasn't until 2014 when his career took a hit and one of his victims came forward and told her story to the Daily Mail and the Washington Post. After that, more than 60 accusers came forward and spoke against him, and he was placed behind bars in 2018. Coming in next, number 9 is Amy Schumer. People fell in love with her quickly after they saw her interview on the Ellen DeGeneres Show. She quickly rose to fame and became one of the highest paid female comedians. But the jokester has been accused of going too far with some of her jokes. And many people would agree that either you hate her or you love her. There's really no in between when it comes to her. I personally find her hilarious. However, I don't always agree with some of her jokes and commentary. Like this one. One time she took things too far and made a really bad joke about Ryan Dunn's death. He was known for his time on Jackass and died tragically in a car accident. During one of her skits, she took a jab at Ryan's longtime friend Steve-O and said, "I'm sorry for the loss of your friend. I know you were thinking it could have been me. And I know we are all thinking, why wasn't it?" She was actually booed off stage for that. It was that bad. Coming into number 8 is Lance Armstrong. For a long time, he was known as one of the greatest cyclists of all time until he became famous for being involved in one of the biggest doping scandals in cycling history. After finding out that he was using drugs and cheating the system, it was hard for fans to hate him at first because he was a heroic cancer survivor. He often tried to inspire others, but they still couldn't ignore the fact that he was very wrong for what he did. The US Anti-Doping Agency said he ran the most sophisticated, professionalized, and successful doping program that the sport has ever seen. In the end, he was actually stripped from his cycling titles, dropped by all of his sponsors, and was banned from professional cycling races altogether. His career and reputation have never been the same since. Let's just say that. Next up at number 7 is Jennifer Lawrence. It's hard to tell the overall consensus when it comes to this beauty. Some people will defend her and some will totally drag her name in the dirt. She skyrocketed into fame after people fell in love with her for her role in the Hunger Games. She became one of the youngest winners for the Best Actress at the Academy Awards and was the highest paid actress in 2015 and 2016. Somewhere along the lines though, people started to turn against her, saying they can't relate to her anymore. They said that she became rude in person and she wouldn't acknowledge them or take photos with them anymore. People have raved online that they once adored her normal girl persona, but that doesn't seem to be the case anymore. She just isn't relatable. Rolling into number 6 is TJ Miller. At the beginning of 2017, he was on top of the world. He played the fan favorite character on Silicon Valley, Weasel in the Deadpool franchise, and landed his own HBO special, Meticulously Ridiculous. He was killing it. But his career started to take a hit when HBO announced that the producers of Silicon Valley and the comedian mutually agreed to end their partnership. But details came out saying that TJ did not want to do it anymore and said that he slammed the show's writing and had tension with the producer. Later down the road, he was accused of sexual assault by a woman from his past, but denied all the allegations. Then, he allegedly submitted a fake bomb threat and was arrested in April 2018. So, he's got a list of reasons as to why he's on this list. Halfway through at number 5 is Adam Sandler. He's been one of the biggest actors in Hollywood pretty much my entire life, and he's always been adored for his talent. I didn't realize what people thought about the actor until I started doing some research. People have criticized his work over recent years, saying that his movies aren't as good as they were before, and basically have said that his time is up. Forbes gave him the title for Most Overpaid Actor for 2 years in a row back in 2013 and 2014. I don't fully understand why he's hated so much. I think people are just kind of over him and maybe have moved on and started adoring other actors. I've always liked Adam Sandler, so I personally don't hate him, but I would really like to know your guys' opinion on Adam Sandler. Do you hate him? Do you think his time has passed, or is he just as good as he's always been? Let me know what you think. Here now at number 4 is Amber Heard. If you are on the internet these days, then this one is pretty self-explanatory. She's had a very successful acting career, and with that comes millions of adoring fans. But that all changed after the lawsuit between her and her ex-husband Johnny Depp has been all over the media. Detailed evidence has proven that she made up her allegations about Johnny Depp abusing her, and she could be facing up to 3 years in jail for her own domestic abuse charges against him. She will be jailed if found guilty for manipulating and faking evidence in her lawsuit. She posted photos of her face being all bruised up and said that Johnny did it, but her own stylist has come forward and said that she did not see any visible marks, cuts, or bruises on her face or body that day. The photos that she posted with bruises all over her face are said to be photoshopped. Taking over our 3rd spot is Taylor Swift. When Kanye took the mic from her at the MTV Music Video Awards, people came to her defense and cried for her. But over the years to follow, people have started to kind of turn against her for a variety of reasons. Some people don't believe her side of the whole story about Kanye's song, where she apparently gave him permission to use those lyrics in his song. Some people don't agree with her political views against the president Donald Trump. Some people don't like her music. Some people don't like her voice. And some people even criticized her new Netflix documentary, which showed a more personal side to her life. I personally think she's always had mixed opinions. Some people I know have always loved her, some people have always hated her, some people love to hate her. You know, I feel like that's up to you. I did gain more respect for her after watching her documentary though, I gotta say. Coming into number 2 is Katherine Heigl. There was a time when she was showing up in practically every rom-com and people loved seeing her bubbly self on the screen. But then she gave her brutally honest opinion about one of them and people started to dislike her. She took the lead in the 2006 movie Knocked Up, and in 2008 she opened up about how she felt about it. In the January issue of Vanity Fair, she said the movie was, I quote, "a little sexist. It paints women as shrews, as humorless and uptight, and it paints the men as lovable, goofy, fun-loving guys. It exaggerated the characters and I had a hard time with it on some days. Why is this how you're portraying women?" This interview alone was enough for people in Hollywood to turn away from wanting to work with her, but it was sealed when she did another interview in 2008 where she dissed the writing in her show Grey's Anatomy as well. Girl, it's like you're purposely trying to ruin your career. Earning the number 1 spot is Kevin Spacey. Because he is hated so much now, it's hard to actually remember the time when people actually loved him. The once 2-time Oscar winner was very loved before he was facing felony assault charges. He was once killing it on his Netflix series House of Cards, but things changed in October 2017 when an actor named Anthony Rapp accused him of making sexual advances towards him when he was only 14 years old. After the story was published, more than 30 people came forward with allegations, accusing him of things ranging from harassment to attempted rape. It was officially announced that he was fired from his Netflix show House of Cards. As for his sentencing, people hate him even more now because he basically walked away as a free man from the whole thing. I don't know if we should hate him or if we should hate the system. Starting us off at number 10 is Micah Stauffer. The YouTuber is facing some serious heat right now that goes beyond online drama. Authorities launched an investigation into the welfare of her adopted son Huxley after she and her husband announced that they had placed him with another family. The Delaware County Sheriff's Office said the investigation is currently ongoing and that they will be doing home studies and background checks. The couple are now under fire because their son Huxley, who has autism, has always been a big part of their story. They made videos regarding the adoption process, his condition, their struggles, all of which were monetized and made significant revenue. She is receiving a ton of ridicule and has lost some very big partnerships with brands. Next up at number 9 is Joe Exotic. It's hard to really include him on this celebrity list, but the truth of the matter is he did skyrocket into fame after his documentary came out on Netflix. You have reached some level of fame when they immediately cast a movie off your documentary and hire Nicolas Cage to star as you. So he's gotta be famous. But people are losing respect for him very quickly after stories came out about how much his documentary lied about details. Turns out he really did have tigers killed and even shot an innocent horse to use it as meat food at his zoo. There were a lot of sketchy details that surfaced after the documentary ended, and people are not in love with his goofy character anymore. Plus, they also didn't respect that his team is tweeting out currently about his freedom during the middle of a Black Lives Matter movement. We ain't trying to help you out of prison, alright? Sliding into number 8 is Kristen Stewart. People adored her after she took on the lead role as Bella Swan in the Twilight series. Although they thought her acting could have been better, they loved the franchise and the fact that she was dating her co-star Robert Pattinson in real life. But then the world turned against her when photos leaked online of her making out with a different man, a much older married man, might I add, who was her director in Snow White and the Huntsman. Ever since then, people have ridiculed her for being a cheater and has torn her acting apart in every movie after Twilight. Like literally, there's memes that float around the internet poking fun at how terrible of an actress she is. It's like, I feel bad, it's funny, but like, girl needs to make more than one facial expression. All I'm gonna say. In spot number 7 is Shia LaBeouf. His success came from his time in the Transformers franchise, and despite having a bad reputation now, there's no denying that he can act. But his reputation started to go down south when his behavior became completely erratic and weird. In July 2017, he was arrested for disorderly conduct, obstruction, and public intoxication. But it wasn't until video footage of the actor was released that people were left in shock. TMZ released body cam footage which shows Shia cursing at one police officer, calling him different derogatory names, and saying racist comments towards another officer who was black. Since then, people lost a lot of respect for him and his career hasn't fully recovered. However, he is trying to do better nowadays. He seems to be more level-headed and sober. Cruising's number 6 is Paris Hilton. She was once the big talk of the town when she became a household name for her phrase, "That's hot." She had the title of best-selling author at one time and was a highly paid actress, model, DJ, and brand ambassador. But her career started to dwindle and she blames it on her 2004 sex tape that went viral. It was called One Night in Paris. Clever. Paris claims that the sex tape was actually put out by her ex-boyfriend and was never meant to be seen by anyone. She said it has completely ruined her life, but other people would argue it was her bad acting that did not progress her resume. Well, that, and she also made some awful homophobic comments about not wanting to be gay because apparently, quote, "you will die of AIDS." Halfway through our list, at number 5 is Trisha Paytas. She did quite the damage on her career in 2019, despite being one of the biggest YouTubers at the time. One of the biggest controversies that pretty much ruined her reputation is when she posted a video saying that she is transgender. Being transgender was not the issue, it was how she spoke about it, saying that she identifies with men better and identifies herself as a gay man because she likes guys. People did not really believe her and it seemed more like a publicity stunt than anything. And then after that, she posted videos of her making out with Jaclyn Hill's ex-husband, and seeing as he is not gay and identifies as a man, people were even more pissed off and confused. I'm still confused about that whole thing. We are moving on to number 4 and we have Mel Gibson. There was a time when Mel Gibson was one of Hollywood's brightest stars, but then he basically started to drown in controversy and it all started in 2006 when he was arrested for a DUI. He blamed the DUI as having a breakdown and said that he was wasted and angry. But that was not the only thing. It's also hard to forget his fall from grace in 2010 when a series of taped phone conversations between him and his then girlfriend were released. You could hear the actor verbally attacking her with profanity, threats, and racial slurs. He even went as far as saying that he hopes she gets raped. When doing interviews about the phone meltdown, he had no problem continuing to offend people based on race, sexual orientation, gender, and immigration status. Hollywood just began to lose respect for the actor, and so did his fans. Alright guys, at number 3 is Britney Spears. I don't know if it's hate as much as it is confusion. People don't even know how to feel about her these days because she's just so different from how we remember her before she shaved her head and smashed a car window with an umbrella. She was once the biggest pop star in the world for many years, until she had a mental breakdown and then just disappeared from the limelight for a while. Then, when she made her way back, she was just very different. Her voice and music is still the same, but her social media presence has everyone hella confused. She often looks dazed, she does these wild, strange dances, and she talks about how she burned her home gym down. Like literally, in a video, she just casually tells you that she burnt down her entire home gym. How does that happen? Taking over spot number 2 is Logan Paul. His brother Jake was on our part 2 list because he is currently in some heat, but Logan lost his YouTube career a few years ago. Logan was the first Paul brother to have his career really take off, but it all came to an end when one of his videos made news headlines for all the wrong reasons. He vlogged a trip with his friends to the famous suicide forest in Japan, but didn't do it respectfully. The forest has the title because people are known to go into the forest to commit suicide, and Logan actually came across a dead body on his visit. He caught the entire thing on camera and posted it to his YouTube channel. People were furious because of how disrespectful it was, not to mention he and his friends were all laughing in the video about what they just saw. He lost his biggest sponsorships on YouTube and had to go on TV to publicly apologize. Yeah, he ended up leaving YouTube altogether. Successful podcast nowadays, but YouTube not so much. Earning her number 1 place is Lea Michele. The Glee actress is under fire recently after accusations were made on Twitter, accusing her of making a co-star's life a living hell. Samantha Ware worked with her on Glee and she said she made racial comments to her and said that she would spit in her wig. Leah quickly apologized and said she didn't remember making the comments, but was sorry if she hurt her. But despite the apology, the accusations just came rolling in from other actors that worked with her, saying that she was always dismissive to black actors and that they don't think it is a coincidence. Leah has yet to respond to the other accusations and has not responded to the request for comment.
Starting us off on number 10, Jimmy Fallon. The beloved late night host has been knocked down a few pegs after mass scrutiny has been launched his way. Following the Black Lives Matter movement, many celebrities have had their past dissected by fans for their racist histories. Jimmy Fallon is now one of those celebrities under the microscope. After a clip from a sketch back in 2000 resurfaced, Jimmy was heavily scrutinized for his participation in performing in blackface. In the skit, Jimmy was supposed to be impersonating actor Chris Rock. Haven't we learned by now that blackface is bad? I mean, blackface has always been bad, but really, must we remind people every few years about this? Also, why was it even necessary to put on blackface to impersonate Chris? He's more than just a skin color, people. Needless to say, a lot of people are upset with Jimmy for this, and even had the hashtag JimmyFallonIsOverParty trending on Twitter when the news broke. Jimmy has since apologized for his actions, but many say that they will never see the host the same way again. In at number 9, Vanessa Hudgens. Vanessa Hudgens is next up on our list of the most hated celebrities of the year because of her comments made about the current global health crisis. Back in March, when this whole crisis sort of began, Vanessa took to her Instagram live and spoke out about her thoughts of the situation. Vanessa went on to say, even if everybody gets it, like, yeah, people are gonna die, which is terrible, but inevitable? Fans were seriously not happy with her remarks and decided to cancel her for it. I mean, I don't blame them. Sure, back when it was the beginning of all this madness, we didn't know how long things were gonna last, but come on, this isn't a situation to make light of. I know we were all bored of being stuck at home and we were struggling with the uncertainty of it all, but still, it's not a very nice thing to say. Vanessa later went back to social media to clear up some things, saying, "I don't take the situation lightly by any means." She apologized for her remarks and has tried to move on from the situation, but it still made her quite a bit of a public enemy for a while. Cruising through at number 8, we have Elon Musk. We've seen a lot of controversy come out about Elon this year. From naming his kid after a barcode to his views on the global health crisis, Elon hasn't been in everyone's good books this year. The SpaceX founder has been scrutinized on Twitter all year, and it seems that no one's really buying into his crap anymore. Even partner Grimes had to call him out on his tweets. Most recently, Grimes had to make Elon come to his senses after tweeting about his views on pronouns. Grimes, who is a big advocate for transgender and non-binary rights, had issued a response to Elon's tweet after saying that pronouns suck, by replying with saying, "I love you, but please turn off your phone. I cannot support hate. Please stop this. I know this isn't your heart." Fans were not happy about the remarks made by Elon, but that's nothing new. Elon has also vocalized his support of rapper Kanye West as he tried running for president, and has even made light of the current health crisis by tweeting "Free America Now" in an effort to get people back to work. My conclusion with Elon here is that he needs to take a break from the internet for a while. He's been ruffling people's feathers a lot this year, so I think it'll do everyone some good to see him stop tweeting for a while. Over here at number 7, we have Lea Michele. Back in June, actress Lea Michele saw her career take a nosedive after co-worker Samantha Ware spoke out about her time on set with Lea, calling it a living hell. The dam holding her career together bust wide open, and a whole slew of allegations against Lea began to surface. Lea had posted a tweet regarding George Floyd saying that the racism must end. Samantha then replied to this tweet saying, "Remember when you made my first TV gig a living hell?" and referenced how her many microaggressions made Samantha question her career in Hollywood. Judging by the fact that Samantha's tweet was in all caps, I think it's safe to say that she's pissed and she's looking for accountability. It wasn't too long after this initial tweet that more people began to come forward and discuss their grievances with Lea. Even her partnership with popular food brand HelloFresh fell through, as they declared that they do not condone racism or discrimination of any kind. To make matters worse for the actress, the apology that she issued wasn't really much of an apology, as she stated that she didn't remember the behavior that she was being accused of, but she had clearly acted in ways which hurt other people. Now, with her accusations and sorry excuse for an apology, no one's really out here trying to forgive Lea, and I personally believe that it'll be a while before we see anyone budge on that. Why can't we all just be nice to people? At number 6, Hartley Sawyer. Flash actor Hartley Sawyer, known for his role as the elongated man, is in some deep trouble with fans. Recently, some of Hartley's tweets from 2012 have resurfaced, and boy are they ever problematic. The now fired actor is being scrutinized for some harsh words sent on Twitter regarding his past racist and misogynistic views. Some of Hartley's tweets are so incredibly vile that I was shocked when I read them. And there are so freaking many. Normally when a celebrity is called out for past tweets, it's usually just a few, but this is way more than just a few. There is like an avalanche worth of horrible things said by Sawyer. Where did this come from? There are so many misogynistic tweets that discuss abuse and calling women animals and beasts that is just so much. If you've ever watched him on The Flash, you know that his character is a pretty sweet dude, so looking at him from this point of view is a serious shock to the system. Halfway through at number 5, Amber Heard. Aquaman actress Amber Heard has been in the news a lot lately, but not at all for anything positive. Amber and ex-husband Johnny Depp have been in an ugly court battle fighting allegations made by the Sun newspaper saying that Johnny had been abusing the actress. For a long time, people actually believed the allegations to be true, but finally, the real truth came out that revealed that the actual abuser was Amber. For years, people had held the allegations of abuse against Johnny, which subsequently hurt his career. But after finding out that the situation was actually the other way around, fans are coming to Johnny's defense. The whole story really opened people's eyes to the stereotypes surrounding abuse. People often forget that although male abusers are more common and more talked about, men actually face domestic violence and abuse by their partners as well. Since the news broke about Amber's abuse against Johnny broke, fans have been demanding accountability be taken as well as justice. There's even a petition going around requesting that Amber be removed from the upcoming Aquaman sequel. As the court proceedings carried on, we found out more about the alleged abuse that Amber had committed. Things like severing Johnny's fingertip and cases of verbal abuse are all over this case. Fans are feeling sorry that they didn't come to Johnny's defense sooner, and this whole thing is just so heartbreaking. Johnny has been through so much over the past few years, dealing with some serious relationship turmoil, abuse, and even having to deal with the public accusing you of said abuse even though you are actually the victim in this scenario must really suck. Obviously, people are straight pissed with Amber Heard, and for good reason too. In at number 4, Kanye West. Rapper Kanye West has been making a lot of headlines this year, mostly for his bid to run for president. In a very public display, Kanye has been all over social media talking about his presidential campaign, among other things. At his rally in South Carolina, things got pretty heated for the artist as he went into a sort of manic episode and started going on about things completely unrelated to his campaign. Among those odd topics were stories about Kim Kardashian's conception of their first child North, as well as his views on religion and his belief that abolitionist Harriet Tubman actually sold slaves instead of freeing them. Now, in defense of Kanye and everything he's been saying recently, it does seem that he's in a bad place mental health wise, and a lot of people are trying to get him some help, but I can see why a lot of people are upset with him. Many of the things that Kanye has spoken out about have deeply offended people, including his own family. Shortly after that catastrophe of a rally took place, his wife Kim Kardashian took to Twitter in an effort to de-escalate the situation, but also to voice her disappointment in what Kanye said that night, especially about their eldest daughter. All in all, Kanye's been in some trouble online, and although he seems to be getting the help that he needs, I don't think that fans will be too quick to forgive him, or even vote for him for that matter. Chugging on through to number 3, we have Jeffree Star. Makeup mogul and YouTuber Jeffree Star has been on a lot of people's hate lists for some time now, but this year, with the explosion of the Black Lives Matter movement, people are coming for his many wigs once again. In another resurfaced scandal, Star is being accused of racism for like the billionth time in his career on the internet. The YouTuber has carried around the label of being a racist for many years and has made countless apology videos for that. But this year, fans have had enough of him. After an old website of Jeffree's resurfaced on the internet with offensive language as well as photos of him posing with the Confederate flag, Jeffree is back on the fiery coals of Twitter and he's getting roasted. I don't think anyone's really surprised at this point. I mean, 2020 is the year of cancellation, so obviously Jeffree has to be a part of it. Fans are also still angry with him over his involvement with the infamous Dramageddon from last year, and as Dramageddon 2.0 began to rear its ugly head once more this year, Jeffree's reputation took a massive hit. Between his accusations, his past, and just him being Jeffree, he's lost followers, business, and even his collaboration with Morphe. He's had so much backlash over the years that I don't really think anything will change with him. He's made yet another apology video and has just continued on with his life, so I guess that it's only a matter of time before we see him caught in the middle of a next YouTube drama. Coming in close to the end of number 2, we've got Shane Dawson. Speaking of problematic YouTubers, let's talk about Shane Dawson. Shane, much like his YouTube counterpart Jeffree Star, has also had his fair share of YouTube controversies. Shane has also had a reputation for being quite offensive. This year, alongside Jeffree, he has also faced cancellation on the internet. Once again, after footage of him in blackface resurfaced, he was called out for his past racist behavior. As every good YouTuber does, he made an apology video, but that wasn't enough for many fans. As if his current situation couldn't get much worse, YouTuber Tati Westbrook, remember her from Dramageddon? Yeah, she called Dawson out and accused him of being a part of the orchestration of the whole Dramageddon fiasco. Oh, and I'm not done. Shane was also called out by none other than Jaden Smith himself on Twitter. The son of actor Will Smith criticized Shane for making sexualized remarks towards his sister, Willow Smith, back when her song Whip My Hair was first released. In the resurfaced video, Shane is seen in front of a poster of then 11-year-old Willow Smith and acting out in a sexual manner. Both Jaden and Jada Smith were upset about the video and demanded accountability. Since all of this unfolded, Shane's been MIA from the internet and no one knows if or when he'll be back. One thing's for sure, however, no one's gonna be forgiving Shane for a while. Finally, capping things off at number 1, we have Ellen DeGeneres. Now, I'm sure this doesn't come as a surprise to you guys, but here in the number 1 spot, we obviously have Ellen DeGeneres. I mean, come on guys, she's had the biggest scandal of the year and we're not even done the year yet. 2020 has not been a good year to be Ellen. But just as a recap, Ellen has been getting absolutely destroyed in the media and on the internet this year. It all has to do with her bad attitude and poor work environment on the set of the Ellen DeGeneres show. We've seen new developments with this story come around at least once a week, and it doesn't seem to be settling down anytime soon. She's had allegations of poor workplace behavior and misconduct be thrown at her, as well as to other execs from the show since the beginning of this year, and it just seems to have snowballed since then. As more and more former employees have come forward to share their horror stories of the celebrity, Ellen's grave has just been dug deeper and deeper. At this point, there's no saving her career. I mean, 1 or 2 scandals here and there can be redeemed, but if you've been facing the hellstorm that is Twitter for months, there's no coming back from that. Even when Twitter decided to cancel Genghis Khan for who knows what, even he could come back from that, and he's been dead for 800 years. Ellen, sorry to say, but you might be Hollywood's newest public enemy number 1.
Starting off our list today at number 10, we have The Affair. So it's clear that Jada Pinkett Smith's affair with August Alsina crossed a lot of boundaries, especially since August was one of Jaden's best friends. What makes the situation even more unsettling is that August has even stated that Will gave him his blessing to continue his relationship with his wife. While August definitely didn't do anything wrong to be ashamed about, he did completely give himself to a relationship with Jada just to be thrown to the trash like he was nothing. Even though his relationship might have occurred with honesty and communication between all parties, the age difference between Jada and August definitely raised a lot of eyebrows, with critics being quick to point out that August was in fact introduced to the family as Jaden Smith's best friend. Number 9. Took advantage of August Alsina. When it comes to August and Jada's entanglement, because apparently it wasn't an affair, it was an entanglement, there has been a lot of questions, especially when it comes to the notion that Jada definitely took advantage of August's mental state. When Jada started seeing August, he was struggling to cope with a very vulnerable time of his life. Being 22 at the time, August was struggling with his health, as he was diagnosed with an autoimmune condition that had him hospitalized on multiple occasions. And with Jada stating that she was mentoring him, it would have an inside source tell Page 6 what kind of mentoring was she giving him, where he felt he was giving his all to a relationship that left him devastated and hurt. You did not help him, you destroyed him. Hey my little peaches, are you liking this video so far? If so, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Coming back at our list today in the number 8 spot, we have Hates Woman. During an episode of the Red Table Talk, Jada Pinkett Smith would have a pretty hypocritical moment when she said that the racial divide between women of color and white women should shrink because they have all been oppressed for their gender, but she candidly revealed that she carried her own biased opinion when she said later on, she went on to note that she had a racial bias towards blonde white women. And when she sees a woman with white blonde hair, she just gets triggered and she has to force herself to stop lashing out at them in the process for no reason. Jada then went on to note that she has these feelings because blonde white women used to bully her in school, but we really had to question if this was because she feels scared about the bond Margot Robbie has with Will Smith. Number 7, tries to become the woman she hates. So we all know Jada hates women who have blonde hair, and a lot of you have pointed out in the comments in some of our previous videos that it's weird that she has such a bias when it comes to women with blonde hair, as she herself has donned the blonde hair baddie movement, which makes you wonder, does she have a tendency of becoming the woman she hates? As it's clear that her comments about hating women had nothing to do with the girls who bullied her in school, and it was more just an indirect comment thrown as a diss towards Margot Robbie. Because as soon as Margot and Will worked together in the movie Focus, Jada started dyeing her hair blonde and telling her husband to get in shape so Margot didn't embarrass him on the big screen. Number 6, the Oscar slap. The 94th Academy Awards was interesting to the point that everybody is still cracking jokes about it today, even at the 95th Academy Awards that just passed. And what's not funny is that everyone keeps making jokes about violence, when the infamous slap definitely is still hurting not only Chris Rock but also Will Smith. After Chris Rock made a joke about Jada's balding head, she would scrutinize her husband by rolling her eyes and giving him an "are you kidding me" look. The look then definitely wiped the simple smile and laugh from Will's face, and he would stand up and take the stage to defend his wife. Even though Jada has been like, "I didn't force him to do this and I'm appalled by his actions," maybe she didn't do it, but she did encourage him to defend her name, and she did have the power from stopping her husband from ruining his career. Number 5, embarrass Snoop Dogg. Just after Kobe passed away in 2020, Snoop Dogg was quick to call out Gayle King after she stated in a TV interview that in the past Kobe has been accused of making unwanted advances on a woman who wasn't his wife. In an interview video, Snoop Dogg would call out King. In the process, he insulted King's appearance before telling her, "Back off, B, before we come get you." As a result of the outburst, instead of having a private conversation with her close friend, Jada would bring Snoop Dogg on her Red Table Talk show where she would embarrass him, not only in front of her mother and her daughter, but also in front of the whole world. After she told the rapper that she felt hurt on behalf of all women when she watched the video of him going after Gayle. As a result, Snoop Dogg was so embarrassed that he would make another video on his Instagram where he would apologize to King by saying, "When you're wrong, you gotta fix it." A derogatory manner based off of emotions. I was raised better than that, so I would like to apologize to you publicly for the language that I used, calling you out of your name and just being disrespectful. But full on, she didn't need to bring him on the talk show to get him to say this. Number 4, drag Tupac's name. If you ever wondered how Tupac would have gotten involved with such a vile woman, you're not alone, as even decades after his passing, people are still wondering what his relationship really was with Jada, especially since she came out to pretty much diss the rapper by saying, "When we first met, I was a dealer." With the two forming a connection while they were both studying at the Baltimore School of Arts, the actor would have to clarify that something very bad happened to make her leave her dealing life behind. And then she would reveal how she got involved with Tupac, and the more she got involved with him, she started to realize that her relationship with the rapper was more just about survival. And then after his passing, it would be noted that Jada broke Tupac's heart after getting with Will Smith, and she would then ask Tupac not to hurt Will, but that was never his intention, and he was hurt that she would say such a thing. Also, the fact she still talks about him today like he's still the love of her life is actually just pretty messed up and really sus. Number 3, Scientologist. Although Jada has tried to claim that she isn't a Scientologist, she has been connected to the controversial religion for years, to the point even an ex-Scientologist named Lee told the Daily Beast in 2017, "I know Jada. She's been in Scientology for a long time. I never saw Will there, but I saw Jada at the Celebrity Center." Lee would then later appear alongside Jada in 2018 for Jada's Red Table Talk show, where the pair settled their dispute, and Jada would say, "My grandmother was like, you're gonna learn all the religion, and then you gotta decide which one you want to practice. I always took the position that I'm here at the Scientology Center to learn what I want to learn, and I have no interest in being a Scientologist. But if you had no interest in being a Scientologist, then why did you open a Scientology school?" Number 2, embarrassed Will Smith. Jada Pinkett Smith has never missed the opportunity to embarrass her husband, especially when she heads over to the Red Table Talk Show. When Gwyneth Paltrow was even a guest of honor on the episode, Jada quickly came under fire for taking the opportunity to embarrass her husband after the two started to talk about their intimate lives. And the spice started to seem a little too much for Will's biggest fans. Not only did Jada take the time to bring up her entanglement, but she also went on to tell Gwyneth that she and Will navigate intimacy in their relationship and that it wasn't as smooth and easy as both of them thought it would be, especially when she noted that she just expected Will to know what she needed when it came to her intimate needs. When she said, "If you love me, you should read my mind." Twitter users then started to imply that Jada was oversharing or going out of her way to call out Will, and they were extremely disappointed that she would play Will like this. And coming in at number 1 today, we have Makes Kids Diss Will live. With Jada's Red Table Talk Show being pretty controversial at this point, we shouldn't really be surprised when she takes every opportunity she can to make her husband seem like he's the bad guy. Especially when she brought her own children on the show to discuss the problems they had with both Jada's and Will's parenting skills. But the whole thing just turned on Will to make him look like the bad guy with no control. In the episode, Willow would tell Jada that she was extremely upset with the way Will handled her success after she released her 2010 song, Whip My Hair, when she said, "I only have one terrible experience, which is whip my hair. Just the values of people around me should have been the opposite. You and Daddy should have been okay. We value her musical growth and knowledge more than her popularity." Jada then went on to say that Will's approach was definitely different because they both had different childhoods, but you guys both grew up with hurt and pain, so that just doesn't make sense.
In at number 10, J-Station. With close to 6 million subscribers, J-Station has cultivated a massive audience over the years of people that love to get scared. Now, clearly all of his videos are pre-planned, but that really didn't seem to matter to them. At one point in time, people really did love his content. Although as time went on, he never really grew with his viewers. The thumbnails had more clickbait and the titles were bizarre, and not too long ago, he actually faked the death of his girlfriend. Well, ex-girlfriend, I guess. Oddly enough, they had just started a channel together, but for whatever reason, he coerced her into making a video to fake her own death. People honestly had no idea if he was telling the truth or not until she made a video exposing him and his manipulation. It would have been bad enough had he just made that video, but then he monetized a video about her resurrection, which was just bizarre. It was all very, very weird, and from that, he kind of lost a ton of subscribers. And then just said, see you later. In at number 9, Jake Paul. Whether or not you have ever enjoyed Jake Paul's content, he certainly has built an impressive fan base over the years simply by acting like a maniac. He has garnered over 20 million subscribers on YouTube, most of which truly love the content that he's posted over the years, and Jake already had some people kind of beginning to hate him when he started trying to sell this gambling service called Mystery Box to his younger fans. But the straw that really broke the camel's back came when he decided to do some filming in Arizona. During the riots that took place in multiple areas around the city, Jake found himself on camera being handed a bottle of vodka that was stolen from a P.F. Chang's. Following that, he was arrested for unlawful assembly and trespassing after multiple eyewitness accounts notified the police. Now, if he was still a truly beloved YouTuber, do you really think that people would call the cops on him? I don't think so. I mean, clearly people didn't like that he was even in their vicinity, and getting him arrested was proof that he is now officially hated. In at number 8, Danielle Cohn. At 15 years old, Danielle was coming for all of the views when she posted a series of videos showcasing that she was both pregnant and getting married. Although it wasn't long until her mother pulled a Tekashi 6ix9ine and ratted her out to BuzzFeed. Danielle's mother said that her daughter's wedding was fake and meant to be clickbait, but she did not comment on the pregnancy, so there was still that too. Later on, as the controversy developed and her views just kept going up, Danielle admitted that the entire thing was manufactured, for which her fans deemed extremely irresponsible. Especially considering she has a younger base of followers, this behavior should be called out. In at number 7, the Ace family. The Ace family has just over 18 million subscribers and have become very well known for the pranks that they would play on each other. After taking part in online challenges and overall blogging their day-to-day life, people really started to love them. Although this family-friendly channel came under fire after the head of the family, Austin McBroom, started acting not so family-friendly. Austin's first point of backlash has to be when he took his wife's 5-year-old sister into, let's say, an erotic store, and then he filmed himself buying a phallic lollipop for her. Almost every person was disgusted by this, and their subscribers definitely took a hit. Although by far the thing that got him the most backlash was when he posted to Twitter saying, "Some of y'all are ungrateful for free content. Some of y'all should be charged every time you watch someone's video. I don't know why y'all think it's just so easy to make videos every day or every other day. If it was so easy, everyone including yourself will be doing it." This was met with fire and brimstone on Twitter, and people ripped him up and down for this statement. He later removed the tweet, but luckily someone had a screenshot. In at number 6, Rice Gum. In his first popular video, Rice Gum criticized young social media stars who made their name on the app Musical.ly. He called out the app's biggest stars for the behavior in their Musical.ly videos, which he thought was inappropriate for their ages. This kind of stirring up drama with other YouTubers is what made people attracted to his content. Along with that, his videos range from diss tracks with whack bars to overly sexualized thumbnails, all leading to his annoying mouth firing off about practically nothing. His mystery box scandal that immediately felt fake to anyone that's at an age of critical thinking is most likely what led him to getting the most hate though. None of his audience members had a problem with him stirring up beef with other YouTubers because they are in a position of power. Although when you promote a gambling service to underage viewers and accept the checks without looking into the details, that just comes off as evil, dude. Instead of taking full responsibility for what he had done, Rice Gum leans into the claims made against him. He proceeds to shift blame and snitches on other YouTubers who have made similar videos asking for them to be called out instead. When does that ever work? Never. The answer is never. In at number 5, Tana Mojo. Tana Mongoose, as I like to call her, has over 5 million subscribers and truthfully only has that by being close to uber controversial Jake Paul. But you already knew that. When I spoke with the rest of the office, they mutually agreed that just the fact that her YouTube page said her name was Tana Paul, it was enough to call her up for being hated now. Even James Charles can't stand her, which is odd because they seem like they would be two peas in a pod. Tana reportedly once showed up 3 hours late for a film shoot with James and then throughout the entire video did nothing but cause disaster. Upon even searching her name next to the word hated, I found several cut together clips all with the same title. Okay, Tana annoying insert influencer name for 2 minutes straight. So it's almost like she found a niche in the market of annoying people on YouTube professionally. Plus, you know, there was that whole fake wedding fight stunt that she and Jake pulled off, and they even charged their viewers anywhere from $50 to $75 just to watch it. In at number 4, Lily Singh. Her channel has garnered nearly 15 million subscribers and her tagline is comedy, inspiration, good vibes. Well, if that were the case, then why do we only get bad vibes from this now hated YouTuber? Many fans of Lily were with her in her early days, but as they began to grow up, they soon realized that Lily wasn't evolving with them. A lot of her common complaints are that her content has become rather stale. Combine that with a more arrogant attitude now that she has a late night show, and you begin to have fans starting to jump ship. No one likes watching someone that feels ungrateful for what they have, and even worse, no one likes watching her deliver those hacky, tired monologue jokes on Late Night with Lily Singh. Plus, her mom and dad characters should have been retired early on in her career. It feels like more of the same thing whenever you cringe watch her videos. In at number 3, Trisha Paytas. Born in California, Trisha was raised in Illinois before returning to Los Angeles where she began stripping and acting on the side. She primarily worked as an extra and appeared in a number of different music videos for artists including Eminem and Amy Winehouse. Her YouTube account was a lifestyle vlogging channel, but this is where she got herself into some serious hot water. Her videos are an annoying combination of being bizarre and boring all at the same time. She has repeated meltdowns in videos that she deems worthy of uploading and has a shrill voice to top it all off. A moment we should never forget was the evidence brought forward by YouTuber Nikocado Avocado that plopped Trisha into the pathological liar category. What's more annoying is how Trisha handled the whole situation. Nikocado had legit messages from Trisha saying that she wanted to collab with him, only for her to turn around and make several videos where she actually made fun of this fellow YouTuber. She also made fun of his weight, which is ironic because she more than anyone understands the psychological damage that they can have on a person. And as a result, she lost a lot of followers. In at number 2, Jeffree Star. Jeffree Star Cosmetics Company has brought in hundreds of millions of dollars, and according to Forbes, he is now the most powerful figure in the industry. Star first rose to fame when his makeup vlogs on YouTube became popular, and from there he went on to launch his own cosmetics line. Before that though, he was a modestly successful MySpace musician. However, now that he is intertwined with all of the drama happening in the beauty community, he is being bombarded with hate. Cameron Lester called him and Shane Dawson out for using him as their token black friend for their videos, and from there it just kinda got worse. Their troublesome Dawson friendship really came about when Shane wanted to document Star in what would be called the beautiful world of Jeffree Star. Following Cameron's video, Jeffree left him a voicemail and denied his allegations against him. The voicemail was leaked to drama channels and contributed to the negative wave that would soon erupt after Shane acknowledged the rumors about his role in the feud between Charles, Westbrook, and Star. Last but certainly not least, on our number one spot, Shane Dawson. Shane was one of the first people on YouTube that garnered popularity, and he has managed to continually grow that audience over the years. In 2008, when Dawson was 19 years old, he joined YouTube and began making videos. He rose to fame on the site, garnering over 500 million views by 2010. Although now those old comedy sketch videos have come back to bite him. Aside from all the drama that he has gotten involved with in the beauty community, he certainly has his own controversial issues. It's crazy how fast he went from being one of the most loved YouTubers to now one of the most hated. There is so many things that he's done, from blackface to some very inappropriate comments, and now the ever so popular video of him with Willow.
Kicking things off at number 10, Ed Brown, also known as Big Ed. Big Ed has made a big impact on viewers during his time on 90 Day Fiancé. But since the beginning, fans of the show haven't been too impressed with Ed and his character. Fans were pretty displeased with how Ed treated his girlfriend Rosemary Vega on the show. Ed faced backlash for lying to her about his height, commenting on her appearance, telling her to get an STD test, and lying to her about wanting more kids. There was just a lot wrong with their relationship, and the fact that when he would lie to Rosemary, he didn't seem remorseful at all. But his actions on the show aren't the only reason why Ed has faced some backlash. Ed's former co-worker came forward with allegations that Ed had harassed and insulted her over the course of several months. Ed's co-worker Lorelai Clemens claimed that Ed was grooming her, and she experienced verbal harassment and ended up in the hospital and dealt with a lot of health issues as a result of an incident that happened with them. He's not really as genuine as he claims to be, and baby, we've seen it. In at number 9, Cardi B. This year, Cardi B has faced heaps of backlash, mostly pertaining to her song WAP. Yes, we're talking about this again. But I mean, although she's found a lot of success through the release of the song, she's also acquired quite a lot of hate as a result. There have been people saying that the song is too vulgar and that it's too sexual, and the song is degrading to women. We've heard opinions from politicians to actors and everyone in between, but Cardi and her creation have been at the center of it all. Cardi doesn't seem to care much about what people think of her because she's proud of what she's created, but that doesn't stop people from hating her. Cardi's faced backlash in the past for allegedly assaulting men and for her criminal background, but she's never changed for anyone, and I doubt she ever will. Cardi really just remains unfazed by the whole thing. In at 8, Doja Cat. Doja Cat, my apparent celebrity doppelganger, got some serious hate this year just for it all to be rescinded. The singer was cancelled and even had her very own over party trending on Twitter just for people to double back and apologize, saying that they were wrong and taking back her cancellation. What started the controversy that had people hating on her earlier this year was a resurfaced video of Doja Cat in an alt-right chat room. People online were claiming that she was participating in the chat talking to racists and laughing at their racist jokes, so naturally they pegged Doja as a racist as well. Following the chat room allegations, one of her old songs resurfaced where people were claiming that she was making fun of victims of police brutality. Obviously, this was pretty bad and Doja was getting a lot of hate for it, but soon enough, the claims that Doja was racist were debunked as the truth about the chat rooms came out, saying that they were not racist at all and Doja had never said anything racist. Soon the hashtag #WeAreSorryDoja started trending, and the whole scandal pretty much blew over as if nothing happened. At 7, Tana Mongeau. Tana Mongeau is no stranger to getting hate, that's for damn sure. But 2020 has brought on a new wave of hate, prompting Tana to be forced to take accountability for her past actions. An influencer named Kaylin Berry made a video titled "Finally Revealing the Truth About Tana Mongeau," where he talked about how Tana mistreated him when they worked on a channel together called Trash back in 2016. Not too long after the video was released, another influencer by the name of Vanessa Briella came forward to talk about Tana, as well as her manager Jordan Verona. Both Kaylin and Nessa accused Tana and her manager of gaslighting, spreading lies, and dismissing the feelings of the black creators who they worked with. The allegations came up following the Black Lives Matter movement, where a lot of people had been coming forward to highlight the microaggressions against black people in the industry. Fans called on Tana to address the situation and take accountability for her actions. She finally released an apology video addressing everything she's been accused of, but people thought the video was stale and robotic and gave her a hard time for that too. In at number 6, Evangeline Lilly. Back in March, when the world was starting to lock down and address the global health crisis, we saw some celebrities make some questionable judgments on the situation, as well as voice some pretty unpopular opinions. Back when Gal Gadot was singing to the internet to lift spirits, and Vanessa Hudgens was speaking ill of those affected by the virus, we saw Marvel actress Evangeline Lilly posting about how she was dealing with the global health crisis. In an Instagram post, Lilly posted that it was business as usual and she dropped her kids off at gymnastics class and went on with her day. Backlash ensued, and in response, the actress said that the lockdown protocols felt like martial law and that she valued her freedom over her life. A very unpopular opinion. Even Game of Thrones star Sophie Turner chimed in to call Evangeline's decision stupid. I mean, it's not the smartest decision, but that's just my opinion. Halfway through at number 5, Chris D'Elia. There's been a lot of hate towards Chris D'Elia following accusations of making advances on underage girls and sexual misconduct. There have been several young women who have come forward to claim that Chris had made advances on them when they were under the age of 18. Many of the young women claim that they've been groomed by Chris and have been sharing their experiences on Twitter, as well as proof of their encounters with the comedian. But these girls aren't the only ones to come forward with claims of inappropriate behavior against Chris. There was also an alleged incident where Chris exposed himself to a hotel staff member when he called for assistance with his room, and when the woman left, he tried to get her to come back in his room again. Like she would? I mean, come on. The backlash against Chris had cost him some of his fan base, as well as his upcoming show dropped by Netflix. In at 4, Lana Del Rey. This year, singer Lana Del Rey has come under fire for her comments about women in music. Lana was receiving hate for bringing up a double standard that stars like Nicki Minaj, Beyonce, Doja Cat, and others receive praise for their music, talking about being sexy, wearing no clothes, and other topics, whereas critics have called Lana out for allegedly glamorizing abuse and other things. Lana claimed that the fact that she gets hate for singing about certain topics isn't fair for her, and that there should be a feminist community for women like her who get their voices taken away by other stronger women or men who hate women. She was also criticized on Twitter for calling out women of color to support her argument, though people say that she had completely glossed over how those women have also had their struggles with writing about their own issues, and called Lana out for her white privilege. Although there were some who agreed with her statement, some did not like the way that she worded it. At number 3, Liu Yifei. Liu Yifei is the new leading lady in the Disney live-action remake of Mulan. Though the movie has been pushed back because of the pandemic, the film has finally been released, but people are trying to boycott the movie because of Yifei's support of the Hong Kong police. There has been a lot of controversy surrounding the Hong Kong police, as they've been clashing with protesters who are pro-democracy in the country. There have been many violent clashes in the past, and the UN Human Rights Office, as well as Amnesty International, have condemned the Hong Kong police for their use of force against protesters. People online have been very angry with the actress's support of the police force because of her large following, saying that she could have been a voice for justice rather than supporting the brutality. The movie has also come under fire for filming in an area that is currently being used as detention camps for minorities, and has been condemned as human rights abuse by human rights advocates. In at number 2, Bella Thorne. This year, Bella Thorne has been receiving backlash because of her OnlyFans scam. The former Disney star announced a few weeks ago that she was starting an OnlyFans page where fans could pay to see exclusive content of the star. The response to her launch was huge, and she made over $1 million in the first 24 hours of the site being live, but soon the success came back to haunt her. Fans were not happy with the content and requested a refund for their purchases, and because the OnlyFans guidelines permitted that, customers received their refund, but at the expense of many other creators on the site. The money that was returned to the customers was tied to the income of many other creators, and therefore OnlyFans was in a deficit and were not able to pay other creators as a result. People were really upset with Bella because her scam cost other creators their income, since they were gonna have to wait 30 days to cash out their earnings instead of the usual 7. Fans were hating on Bella not only for scamming her customers by not providing what they thought she would, but also because she single-handedly broke the system which supplied payments for other creators on the platform. Finally at number 1, J.K. Rowling. There's a lot going on with J.K. over here. She's been getting hate for months now, and every time she comes out with a new statement, it just keeps getting worse. All of this started back in June when J.K. came out with statements about transgender people, and many people took offense to what she'd been saying. J.K. spoke out about how women are the only people who menstruate. She posted about TERF, which stands for Trans Exclusionary Radical Feminist. She wrote about her support for a woman who lost her job because she was transphobic, and liked a tweet that compared hormone therapy to antidepressants. Basically, people are hating her because she's allegedly been transphobic. Bottom line. Recently, she's dug her grave just a little bit deeper as she announced a new book that explores a cold case involving a transvestite serial killer. Though JK says that she's a supporter of trans rights, her actions seem to say otherwise, so she's been faced with a lot of backlash from the LGBT community as well as the cast of the Harry Potter movies.